All right, so you talked about this on Fighter and the Kid, but I don't think we talked about it here on Below the Belt.
Yeah, I thought this was so
Ariel Helwani
interesting.
on
So
Dan
he
Le
went
Batard's.
on Dan Le Batard's show. He had a mask on, which was a little cheesy. But so Dan Le Batard was like, man, feel free to fire away. And this is what he put.
Yeah, do you want me to play it or?
Yeah, will the audience be able to see it and hear it?
Yeah.
You play it. It's interesting, dude.
You tell me when to cut it off.
So I will say this. I've never personally worked with Ariel, ever. He's a real journalist. I'm a guy that tells dick jokes and talks about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. You know, so he's always been like the company guy. He's a suit guy. He's a real journalist. He's probably the best journalist we have in the game. He's the closest thing we have to Stephen A. Smith, right? He doesn't have those opinions, but as far as straight journalism, he's the guy. He's kind of the standard, which God bless him, he's worked his ass off for. The only thing I've heard about Ariel, and I've heard it from a million people, does not play well with others.
Yeah.
Anybody I know who's ever worked with him does not have nice things to say. Anybody I've ever talked to in the MMA space says do not work with him. Now, I never judge a book by its cover. I'm sure people have had their issues with him. I've never worked with him, nor would I have no reason to. You know, he's a journalist, not what I do. But I've never had any issues with him. But anybody I know, people that I consider friends, people in that MMA journalist space say he's an absolute nightmare. What?
No, it's just because I listen to Luke Thomas and stuff too, and he just gets angry.
Luke does?
Yeah. But he didn't go into detail, but
Luke can't stand him.
yeah, I know.
Luke cannot stand him.
It's kind of funny.
I know a lot of people that can't. Again, people have issues with a lot of people. I go based off my experience. I've never worked with him, so I don't have anything. I don't have an opinion on it. I don't know. From what I see, he's good at his job, but anybody I know who's ever worked with a guy, like, remember when he went through the Fox thing and Dana banned him? Notice how no one stuck up for him? When none of your peers stick up for you, that's a bad sign. But again, I don't know. Might be awesome.
Never know. All right, let me play.
Wish he wasn't wearing this fucking mask.
All right.
Did Dana White run you out of ESPN?
So I can't answer that question with yes or no, but I will explain it like this. From the moment it was made public that I was joining ESPN, unbeknownst to me on my life, on my kid's life, I didn't know when I was hired by ESPN, I didn't know that they were in talks with the UFC. I had no idea. At the time, they really had like one MMA guy on the staff. I thought, all right, the sport is growing, Conor McGregor, they want to beef up the coverage. I had no idea about the other stuff. And then if you recall, and you can go back and look, initially they signed them to a 10-card deal, ESPN Plus only. And then I was like, all right, they're not the sole exclusive broadcast partner. I could live with that. And then it became the whole freaking thing. And then I started to get nervous. So from the moment it was made public in mid-May that I was going to ESPN, and at that time it had already been out that they had signed this deal with ESPN, the UFC did, Dana White tried to get me not even to make it to my first day. He raised hell to try to stop me. My first day was June 15th, tried to stop me to get to the first day. Now, to the credit of a lot of the executives there, they all said no. They all had my back. They gave me shows. They gave me opportunities. But for the next 3 years, it was, one roadblock after the next. It was one issue after the next. It was all kinds of stuff. I'll tell you a story. I've never even shared this story. When I would be at events, Dan and everyone, and let's say it's the weigh-ins, right? And there's a desk there and I'm doing something beforehand, but Dana White is coming as a guest in 30 minutes or something. I would have to be escorted out of the venue because per his request, I couldn't be in his vicinity or his line of sight. So here I am on the set of a company that I work for, and security, the nicest people in the world, who were embarrassed that they had to do this, would tell me, I'm sorry, Ariel, we have to walk you out. You know how that makes someone feel? We have to walk you out of the venue because Dana White doesn't want you in his line of sight. I said, I'll sit right over there. I won't even look at him. I'll look at my phone. What are we doing here? So that's the kind of stuff that I had to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. What can you do? Ariel Helwani went on Dan Le Batard's show and slammed sad sack fake journalist. Who's he talking about? Like,
I don't think he actually pointed it out.
He's talking about other ESPN guys? Like,
other people that don't really know.
What's a Brett Okamoto?
Okamoto?
I like Brett.
I know. Let me just play this real quick. It's short.
The thing, I don't want anyone to think that ESPN, fired me or didn't extend any contract. They did. Of course, it wasn't what I was hoping for, and you could come up with your own type of theory as to, you know, why they extended the offer that they extended. I think I'm worth a lot more than they offered, and I'm out to prove it. And I'll just add, like, you know, the pettiness knows no bounds. The real estate, as they say in Las Vegas, I hear is pretty good these days. For Ariel Helwani, and I'll talk to myself in third person, it's rent-free, because what they did on Saturday, the 2 shows that I had with Chael and DC, that I helped build, that I was the one who was promoting more than anyone, I mean, all day incessantly. I never got a single plug in my 3 years there, a single plug on any type of broadcast for 3 years. I stopped counting at the 7th plug on Saturday for their 2 new shows. And I love DC and Chelsea.
Those shows are terrible too.
I will literally go in front of a car for those guys. They're the most loyal friends. But the pettiness to try to raise those shows,
I think it's pettiness.
Now I'm out, to try to put me down because now I'm out, to try to continue to hurt me, put roadblocks in front of me because I'm out, is laughable to me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue covering this sport. I'm going to continue doing it the right way and the fair way. And they could bring their parade of sad sack fake journalists to their events all day long to do whatever they want to do, and bow down to them. I'll be just fine with the people that I'm working for. Vox, Ringer, Spotify, Substack, BT Sport. I'll be just fine.
Yeah.
It's an upset dude.
So now one plug when he was there the entire time in 3 years. They never promoted his shows, but now they're popping.
I mean, that's it. But also, you know, you made this bet, you got to lie in it, Papa. Like, why does Dana not like you? Let's talk about that. Why was he upset about you? Well, if we go back, remember the Brock Lesnar thing, they told you not to release it. They did you a solid. You had all the credentials, all that stuff, and they said, nobody release this before. We want to be the first. It's their company. Yeah. That's their rules. You broke the rules, dude. That's why he's upset. Whose fault is that? Not Dana's fault. It's an Ariel mistake. Again, Ariel's really good at his job. He's going to be fine, man. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's pretty upset.
That's the most I've seen him upset on any broadcast.
It's the most emotion I've seen out of the guy. I thought he was a robot. I thought he was a MMA robot.
He does cry, like not all the time, but he had some episodes where he cried. But this is like the actual fierce, I'm pissed off kind of Ariel.
Yeah, and the UFC and ESPN just keeps beating to their own drum. They don't give a flying fuck. That's the way it works with these big companies, man. But he's gonna be fine. Of course, he'll figure it out. I'll give Ariel credit. Those other shows suck.
I tried
too. I tried watching. Like, God, this is bad. What are they thinking? ESPN ratings are tanking, dude.
Well, you mentioned would be way better if they just put Chael and Daniel together.
Put 2 guys who know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't want to hear this guy I've never heard of talk about MMA. This guy, just because he doesn't have a job with NFL or NBA because it's too crowded, you throw him over to the MMA side, and I'm like, why is this guy talking about fucking Connor? That's all they know, too. It's so weird, dude.
It is a little weird.
Yeah, it's not going to work out. Those shows are going to last another month or 2, and then they're going to look at ratings and like, oh, shit, this isn't working.
And then take your advice, put DC and Chael together.
Yes, that's what's going to happen.